morning again, everyone. This is Benjamin, and it's been a while. For today, I will color one of my OC. But before I put the colors, I will first turn this drawing into grayscale and identify the parts in which the shadows will be casted. With regard to my drawing style, I tend to separate the outline of my drawing and what I call as the additional details, such as the hairlines. Okay. Example, these, the eyebrows, also the eyes are part of the details that I put on a separate layer. Now, the reason for this is because I don't use brush on coloring. What I do is I use a bucket or the fill feature and choose any color, then fill it with the color I want. For me, that's the easiest way because if you have this detail on the same layer with the outline, it will obstruct the flow of the color, so it kind of ruins your work. So without the details, I can fill the entire section. Alright, so I have finished filling up my drawing. So now, what I'm gonna do is to identify where is the light source is coming from. So for this, I will put the light source um, at the upper left part of my drawing. After identifying the light source, what we're going to do is to identify in which part of the drawing will be the shadow casted. So I will mark it starting from here. Alright, now I have completed shading. As you see, some of my shadows are sharp and some are soft. For example, this part and this part. This happens because, as you remember, the light source is right here, right? And this is a direct shadow, so it came from directly, or it is casted directly from the light source to the object. And this is a casted shadow. It is a shadow casted from the light source, but there's an object that's in front of the light source itself. So the shadow is casted and it caused it to be sharp. That's the two rules that I always follow in shading. If you have a light source and the shadow is directly casted to the object, the shadow will be a soft shadow. But if the light source, say right here, there is a light source and there's the object, and there is another object behind that first object, and the shadow is casted, right? So that shadow right here, it will be a casted shadow or a sharp shadow. You can see it right here. This is a casted, I mean, this is a direct shadow. Okay, this is a casted shadow because this here is the armpit, so it goes along right here. This also is a casted shadow because it is casted by this. by the arms. So as you see, my shading technique is not that complex. It's just simple. Some may use realism in shading their drawing. There's something they call terminators. It is a neutral color applied to the shadow so that it can blend into the object. There's also additional bounce light or the backlight, I guess. So what happens is the shadow is casted. For example, here the light source is there. Some of the light source will go over here and then it bounce back. So meaning you will have less shadow. The shadow right here, it won't be a complete shadow. It will light because there's light that bounce off from this. But I'm not applying it to my drawings or to my works because it's too complicated for me. And I want my drawings to be completed as soon as possible, and I want it to be as simple as possible. So the only two rules I follow is hard shadow and soft shadow. In terms of highlights, I just use hard brush. I use hard brush like this. I use a white color hard brush and then airbrush to give it that glowing effect. That's what I when it comes to highlight. Alright, so after all of that, I will now color my drawings based on the techniques that I shown you before. That would be all for today. If you have any suggestion, kindly state it in the comment. If you find this video entertaining, please leave it. Have a nice day. Bye bye.